My name is Morris, and I thought I had a normal, happy marriage. My wife, Emily, and I had been together for almost 7 years. We met in college, and from the very first day, she made me feel like I was the luckiest man alive. She was funny, smart, and beautiful. For a long time, I believed we had the kind of love that could survive anything. In the early years, everything felt perfect. We laughed a lot, went on trips, and even faced struggles together as a team. I remember thinking to myself, this is what real love looks like. Of course, like all couples, we had our arguments and differences. Sometimes we fought over small things like money or time, but we always found a way to forgive and move forward. But lately, things had started to feel different. Emily had become quieter, more distant. She didn't smile as much, and our conversations often ended in silence. At first, I thought maybe it was stress from her job. She worked long hours, and I tried to give her space when she came home tired. Still, deep inside, I felt something wasn't right. I told myself that every marriage goes through rough times. I believed that with patience and love, we would get through it. I didn't know then that my life was about to change forever, and not in the way I hoped. One evening, after dinner, Emily sat across from me at the kitchen table. She looked nervous, like she had been practicing what she wanted to say. Her hands were shaking a little as she held her glass of water. I could feel that something serious was coming. "Morris," she began, avoiding my eyes, "I think I need some space for a while." At first, I didn't understand what she meant. "Space? What do you mean?" I asked. She sighed and rubbed her forehead. "I just feel overwhelmed. Work has been stressful, and I feel like I've lost myself. I need time to breathe, to think, to figure things out." Her words hit me hard. "Are you saying you don't want to be with me anymore?" I asked quietly. "No," she said quickly, shaking her head. "That's not what I mean. I just need some time alone. Maybe stay with my mom for a little while. Just a few weeks. I think it will help me clear my head." I stared at her, searching for the truth behind her words. Something didn't feel right, but I wanted to believe her. "Why didn't you tell me earlier if you were feeling this way?" I asked. She gave me a weak smile. "Because I didn't want to hurt you, but I can't keep pretending everything is fine." There was a long silence between us. My heart felt heavy, but I didn't want to push her away by arguing. "If that's what you need," I finally said, "then I'll respect it." Emily reached across the table and touched my hand gently. "Thank you for understanding." I nodded, but inside, I felt a storm of fear and confusion. Something about her explanation didn't sit right, but I convinced myself that maybe space was really what she needed. I didn't know the truth yet, that her idea of space was something very different from mine. The first night without Emily in the house felt strange. The bed felt too big, the rooms too quiet. I kept turning my head, expecting to see her walk in, but she never did. I told myself it was only for a short time, that she would come back once she felt better. But the emptiness in the house made me feel like something was already broken. Days passed slowly. I tried to keep myself busy with work and small chores, but no matter what I did, I kept thinking about her. Every time my phone buzzed, I hoped it was a message from Emily, but most of the time, it was nothing. When she did text, her words were short and distant, like she was just checking a box. At night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, asking myself questions. Was I not enough for her? Did I do something wrong? Why didn't she want to talk to me? The silence was harder than any argument we had ever had. Friends tried to comfort me. Some said, "Give her time, she'll come around." Others whispered things I didn't want to hear. "Maybe she's not being honest with you." I pushed those thoughts away, refusing to believe that Emily could betray me. She was my wife, the woman I trusted more than anyone. But deep inside, I felt a small voice telling me something was off. The way she avoided long conversations. The way she said she was too busy to call. The way her smile and our last moments together felt forced. Still, I held on to hope. I told myself love could survive this. I believed that if I just waited, if I just trusted her, everything would go back to normal. What I didn't know was that the truth was already waiting for me, out in the open, where anyone could see it. One Saturday night, I sat alone on the couch with the TV on, but I wasn't really watching it. My phone was in my hand, and out of habit, I opened social media. I scrolled past pictures of friends, coworkers, and random posts until something caught my eye. It was a photo from a bar downtown. A group of people were smiling at the camera, holding drinks. My heart froze when I noticed one of the faces in the picture. Emily. She wasn't alone. Standing right next to her was her ex-boyfriend, Mark. His arm was draped casually around her shoulders, and she was leaning toward him with a smile I hadn't seen from her in weeks. They looked comfortable, happy, like they belonged there together. For a moment, I just stared at the screen, unable to breathe. My first thought was that maybe it was old, maybe it was some kind of mistake. But then I saw the timestamp. The photo had been posted only a few hours earlier. Someone had even tagged her in it. A wave of emotions crashed over me. Shock, anger, sadness. My chest felt tight, and my hand shook as I zoomed in on the picture, searching for any clue that could explain it away. But the truth was clear. While I sat at home missing her, she was out drinking with the man she once loved. Memories of her words came back to me. I need space. I need time to think. I just want to stay at my mom's for a while. All of it suddenly felt like lies. I wanted to believe there was an innocent reason. But no matter how I twisted in my mind, the photo spoke louder than her excuses. The way she laughed in that moment, the way his hand rested on her, wasn't the kind of thing you shared with just a friend. I sat there in silence, staring at the picture until my eyes burned. I felt betrayed in a way I had never felt before. It wasn't just that she was with her ex. It was that she had looked me in the eyes and told me she needed space, while all along she was filling that space with someone else. In that moment, my hope for us began to crumble. I realized that the woman I trusted most in the world might already be slipping away from me. I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, the picture of Emily and Mark came back to me. By morning, I had made up my mind. I couldn't stay silent. I needed answers. When Emily came by the next day to pick up a few things, I waited until she stepped inside before I spoke. My heart was racing, but I kept my voice steady. "Emily," I said, holding my phone in my hand, "we need to talk." She looked at me with a hint of worry. "What's wrong?" I turned the screen toward her. The photo of her and Mark glowed brightly between us. "This," I said quietly. Her face drained of color. For a moment, she didn't speak. Then she let out a nervous laugh. "Morris, it's not what it looks like. I just ran into him, and some friends wanted a picture. It's nothing." "Nothing," I repeated, my voice rising. "You told me you needed space. You said you were staying at your mom's. Instead, you were out drinking with your ex, smiling like you didn't have a care in the world." She shifted uncomfortably, her eyes darting away from mine. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I wanted to clear my head. Mark happened to be there." I shook my head, anger mixing with hurt. "Do you think I'm stupid? Look at the way he's holding you. Look at the way you're leaning into him. That's not an accident, Emily. That's not just friends catching up." Tears welled up in her eyes, but I didn't feel sorry for her. I felt betrayed. "Why didn't you just tell me the truth?" I asked. My voice cracked, the weight of my pain spilling out. She finally whispered, "Because I didn't know how. I didn't want to admit that I've been confused about us. I didn't plan for this to happen, Morris. I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time." Her words cut deeper than the photo. She could have denied it, but instead, she admitted enough to break me. "So all that talk about space," I said bitterly, "was really about making room for him." Emily tried to reach for my hand, but I pulled away. The silence between us was louder than any shouting match could have been. In that moment, I knew our marriage had crossed a line we could never come back from. I stood there, staring at the woman I thought I knew better than anyone. My chest felt heavy, like I couldn't take a full breath. Emily wiped at her tears, but I couldn't find any sympathy left inside me. "You didn't need space, Emily," I said, my voice low and tired. "You needed freedom to do this, to sneak around and pretend I wouldn't find out." Her lips trembled. "It wasn't sneaking around. I wasn't trying to replace you. I just... She stopped, shaking her head. I felt alive again, Morris. And I didn't know how to tell you that I don't feel that way with you anymore. The words hit me harder than any slap. Alive again. With him, not me. I wanted to scream, to break something, but instead I just stood frozen. All those years, I whispered. All the promises, the plans, the life we built, and you throw it away for a night at a bar with your ex? It's not just a night, she admitted quietly, her eyes finally meeting mine. I've been thinking about him for a while. Seeing him again brought it all back. I'm sorry. Sorry. I laughed bitterly. Do you even realize what you've done to me? To us? You didn't just hurt me. You destroyed the trust that held us together. Her tears fell faster, but I had none left to give. Something inside me broke completely. The woman I loved was gone, replaced by someone I no longer recognized. Without another word, I stepped back. I can't do this anymore, I said. Whatever we had, it's over. She cried harder, reaching out as if to stop me. But I turned away. The marriage that once felt unshakable had ended, not with a fight, but with a truth too painful to ignore. The days after our confrontation felt unreal. I moved through the house like a stranger, surrounded by memories that now felt poisoned. Every corner reminded me of Emily. The couch where we laughed at movies, the kitchen where we cooked together, the bed where we once whispered dreams. Now those places only carried silence and betrayal. Emily stayed at her mother's house after that day. She tried to call a few times, but I couldn't bring myself to answer. What was left to say? Words couldn't fix the damage. Trust, once broken, doesn't grow back the same way. At night, the loneliness was sharp. I would lie awake, replaying everything in my mind. Was there something I could have done differently? Was I blind to the signs? The questions never seemed to end, but deep down I knew the truth. Her choice wasn't about what I lacked. It was about what she decided to give away. Slowly, I began to shift from anger to acceptance. I realized I couldn't control Emily's feelings or actions. I could only control how I responded. Staying in a marriage built on lies would have destroyed me completely. Walking away hurt, but it also gave me a chance to rebuild myself. Friends and family reminded me that healing takes time. Some days I felt hopeful, other days broken. But I started to believe that maybe this ending wasn't just about loss. It was also about a beginning, a chance to find strength I didn't know I had, and one day, maybe, love that was real and faithful. Looking back, I see that moment, the photo in the bar, as the turning point. Painful, yes, but also necessary. It forced me to face the truth I didn't want to see. And in the end, the truth set me free.